happening, everybody? Again, I'm having these conversations from all over the world, and we had the opportunity to bring Kingsley back. Kingsley joined us in Ghana last year. Had a great time. We're going to share that video with you real soon. But he also shared some really good insight about some of the cultural challenges that are happening in Nigeria. He also shared just from the heart. I mean, this is where he was born and raised. The only other country he's been to is Ghana. So he is probably a very good person to share this perspective about Nigeria and West Africa. And we're going to talk about several different things. So what's up, Kingsley? How you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm fine. I'm fine. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. I'm coming to Nigeria soon. I'll be in Nigeria next month.
Yeah. You said that. Let's go to April, right?
Say it
Yes,
again.
yes, yeah. You said April. April.
April. That's right. Right. It is
Yeah,
March.
yeah.
It is March. Yeah. So I'll be back in Nigeria, and I look to bring a group to Nigeria in August. So we'll see how all of that goes. But I'm excited about coming back to Nigeria. But I recognize that just like any country in the world, that there are challenges. And if you look over
Definitely.
my shoulder, you see the different countries: Ghana, Egypt, Tanzania, Nigeria, South Africa. Those are all a part of the Africa experiences that we offer with maximum impact. But what I also like to do is to educate and bring people up to speed from a local level. So tell me, just what's on your heart today and some of the things that you would like to share with everyone. I mean, I'm here. I'm ready for the conversation. You know it.
Yes, man. Jay, actually can't wait to see you in Nigeria, and I hope we get to see when you come. But I'm sure you visit other states outside Lagos when you come this time
Yeah, I'm
around.
going to Abuja. I'm going to Abuja, and then I'm going to Calabar.
Aha.
Uh-huh.
Abuja is a different vibe.
All
Different vibe from Lagos. Calabar is more of a tourism center.
Yes.
Like, yeah, they have this tourism thing going on for them. So I think among the states in Nigeria, Calabar is more of the tourist attraction. They have more solid tourism focused economy than the other parts of Nigeria. So I'm sure you enjoy your stay
I'm
in
going to that
Calabar.
resort. What is it? What's the name of the resort there out near Calabar? Is
Uh,
the Mountain Resort.
yes, Obutu Cattle Ranch. Yeah,
Yes,
Obutu Cattle Ranch.
you got it. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. That's one of the popular selling points for them. At a point when Donald Duke was still the governor, it was like the way people dream to travel to America. That was how people loved going to Obutuka to Ranch.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, in this part of the country, like you've not
Oh.
been to Obutuka to Ranch? What have you been missing? You have to be there. You have to be there. That is Donald Duke. I think you met him when you came back when you came to
Yes,
Nigeria the
I
last time.
did. I did have dinner with Governor Duke at his house. Yes.
Yeah, he's a fantastic tourism centered governor.
All right. Well, I will be there. I can't wait to I can't wait to bring people because I want them to see, that Nigeria has a lot to offer. And so I'll be putting together a very, very specific, very detailed trip for people, from a very special group of people to be able to go to Nigeria this August. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit. What's on your heart about Nigeria? Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this. We're not going to dance around things. I love being able to talk to folks and get their real perspective because while we have the tourism aspect, then there's another aspect that might not be so touristy, but still it's just as important. So what's on your mind?
Yes, I think a few days ago I sent you a video. I sent you a picture
A picture.
of fuel scarcity in the country. Yes, Nigeria, a wonderful country, definitely. But like I always tell people who always listen, I'll tell them that it's a country that's been messed up by the British.
Okay.
And I have not forgiven them for what they did, for messing up this wonderful land. Nigeria has been having this crisis, a political crisis. It's been politically motivated. It was the reason we had civil war, and that issue has not been resolved up to today. And it falls on the issue of merging three major nations into one entity.
Three major
And if
nations
you,
into one entity.
yes, and if you ask the British why they did it then, they will tell you that they did it because They wanted to operate the country more economically. Listen why they did it. They didn't do it because they felt it would help the locals get along. They didn't do it because they felt it was the best thing for the people of Nigeria, for the people of Nigeria that people found in this locality, this geographical location.
Mm-hmm.
They did it because they wanted to save costs for the British Empire while colonizing the country. That was it. So it is more like marrying a partner when both of you don't get along well. So that has been the central problem Nigeria has been facing. Then the country inherited corruption, a political system that they are not used to, destabilizing their local political system.
Okay. Now, I have to jump in here because whenever I talk about Africa, I'll get some ignorant African American that will come, and the first thing, and it'll be just ignorant wherever they come from, but because I that's my culture, I'll get some ignorant African American, and the first thing that they want to say is Africa is overrun with corruption, but their ignorant behind does not understand why there's so much corruption. And you just said why. Why? So why, for the ignorant
Yes.
behind person, why is there so much corruption in Africa, or in particular in Nigeria?
Yes, it is inherited. You know, the system we run is not ours. This is a British system. We are running British, but Nigeria's system, Nigeria's case is so funny. We try to copy America's system. We're also copying British system. So we are even politically confused. But they are not indigenous political system. Now, we run a system that will come and make you swear to like oaths. Let me call it oaths. You take an oath in
Okay.
court.
Take an oath.
I say,
Okay.
yeah, I'm holding the Bible or Quran. I promise that I will not steal. I'll be faithful to the people I'm ruling. I'll be this. I'm saying the truth. They're holding the Bible, whatever the oath of office, whatever they call it. But at the end of the day, they don't do what they have sworn to do. So they actually had an oath that they will be truthful. They had an oath that they will treat the people they are ruling well. But at the end of it all, these are all British system or American system that we are just I call it formality sake. But we had our own system that checkmates corruption. People may call it superstition. Back in the days, we had a political system where we had kings. We had chief priests. The chief priest is a spiritual lord of a particular clan or society or group or village or town. That was what was obtainable then. So the chief priest checkmate the king. The king checkmate the chief priest. The king also had chiefs. This were the system that we had during those days. When the British came, they are very smart people. They did all their magu, we call it magu in Nigeria. That is twisting here and there. And they influenced the political system. Now, we abandoned it. What we could have done, we could have developed that system into modern system.
Develop the indigenous system into a more modern system.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes, we could have developed the indigenous political system into modern political system. Now, it could have served us better. Currently, we are running a system that is rich in corruption because the British were corrupt when they came here. They were stealing from us. How do the system was all about stealing.
Yeah.
All about stealing. Let me steal their resources. Let me take their people.
Yeah.
They were stealing and looting us all the way to their country. Now we were studying it. See, what we have currently in Nigeria or in different parts of Africa is still the same colonial system. The only difference is that the people, our politicians are now colonial masters. Our politicians are now the colonial masters. They are not the British colonial masters we had then, the ones we have now. They are still running the same political system that the people the colonial masters were using, such as using religion as a tool, as we discussed in the previous video. That is what the politicians are still doing today. So when you now have a system that is not workable, merging three nations together that don't agree politically.
What are the three systems? Let's talk about the three systems that have been merged together. What are those three systems?
The three nations. Three nations.
Okay, what are the three nations? Okay.
Igbos, Yorubas, and the Hausas.
Okay.
This has been the issue to date. I sent you on WhatsApp when we were having personal chat. I told you the problem we have here is that everybody wants their own tribe to rule. Nobody is paying attention to good governance. I just want my own person to be there. I just want my own tribeman to be there. That has been the problem. So if there was absence of merging of three nations, I wouldn't be caring about, because let's take, for instance, we have an Igbo nation. For instance, I wouldn't be so focused on who is ruling, because I see everybody as Igbo. I'll be more focused on accountability. Now nobody focuses on accountability in Nigeria. I am telling you this, everybody is interested in his or her brother ruling from their tribe. They don't care if the person is sick. They don't care if the person, you don't get like the current president of Nigeria, I think 2 years ago, spent greater part of his time in UK for medical treatment. While he was there, which I know many countries in the Western world can't take it. Imagine having their president sick and always treating himself in other country, not in their own country, spending greater part of their time in other country. Now, the people where the president comes from, the region where the president comes from, they won't say anything. They don't care. Why? It is their people.
Now, is the president Hausa, the president Yoruba, or is the president Igbo?
It's Fulani. So it's Fulani, but the Fulanis and Hausa, they are more like, it's from the northern region of the country.
So there are four nations.
Yes, the Fulanis actually, the Fulanis, them.
Yes.
They're always on the move.
Right, the Fulanis, yes. They're in Ghana, they're in Cameroon. Yeah.
Yes. So they have this more, you really can't distinguish between Fulanis and Hausas. They are more together. So they settled in the northern region of the country. While the west is Yorubas, then the east, you have the Igbos. There are other tribes in Nigeria, like 250 tribes. But I'm talking about
dominant. These are the dominant ones.
Yeah, the dominant tribe.
Yeah. Okay.
And these were the tribe that the British, when they came, they were having direct contact with more, like they acknowledged as major tribes, and they were people that they structured the country as a base, where the base who they structured the country, these three major tribes. So the president currently is from the northern region. All right. So wherever he does, the northern region wouldn't really speak out.
And probably the Hausa probably don't say much either.
Exactly. They won't speak out. The Hausa, they are from the northern region. They won't speak out. Why? He's from that region. So the country's politics is now politics of ethnic domination. And Jay, it is difficult for any country to make progress where there is serious politics of ethnic domination. It affects everything. It affects merit-based system. Merit-based system has been killed in Nigeria because, take for instance, we have something called federal character, where we try to ensure that a particular ethnic group doesn't dominate the country. So we make sure that if there's any job position for the federal level, we try to get representatives from every state or constituency or region. So let me use it this way. If you have 36 states now, we try to get two representatives from each of the states. Okay. If it doesn't work that way, we can limit it to regions. There are about 6 political regions. So the essence of this system is to make sure that a particular ethnic group doesn't dominate the country. Now that is to tell you that there is fear. There is fear of ethnic domination in the country. And this has been the bane of crisis across Africa. Ethnic crisis. That's been the bane of fighting in many African countries because this ethnic group doesn't want this ethnic group to dominate him or her. Africans were undergoing the processes that Europeans went through. They fought. Europeans also fought. They fought themselves years and decades ago. They fought. The Polish are always fighting this. The English is always fighting the French. The French is always fighting German. They had this same crisis back then.
Yes.
But like I said in my previous video, at a point, they came together and said, why are we fighting? Let me respect your own sovereignty. Oh, you're an English, I respect you, you're an English. Run your race, run your team. You're French, run your thing. No, you're German, run your thing. I won't interfere.
Portuguese, Spanish. Portuguese and the Spanish. Yeah.
Just be there. I won't interfere. I respect your sovereignty. They were able to manage this first. We have not yet been able to manage this.
Well, you know why?
We are still having.
But you know why?
Okay.
Because to your point, this artificial border known as Nigeria has been created. Yes. So that border, that border. So to your point of saying they took Nigeria, created Nigeria, the British did, and then had all of these people who would have otherwise had their own borders with their own
natural giving border,
and force them all to be within the borders, and then force them to go with their governmental system, which now creates the strife, the confusion, while the British, the Americans, the Chinese, and the Russians still come into Nigeria and exploit the confusion because everybody's focused on fighting each other instead of them building their nations up and then working together. But that's what it sounds like to me based upon what you said.
Exactly what is going on. Exactly what is going on. And someone said something like the British will never be happy to watch Nigerians restructure their system that is workable. If you try it, you know how your country do the thing. When they find out that you're coming in and you're coming as a president or a leader or anything, you're trying to question some policies that are not favorable to the West. Yes. They're not good to the British. They're not good. They just come and set up crisis in your country.
Oh yeah, they stir it up. The CIA. I'm sure the CIA is all throughout Nigeria. I'm sure they have all types of agents running around there, slithering around, paying people off, and doing what they do. Yeah.
Immediately they notice that your policies are not favorable to the West. They raise opposition within your country. They raise crisis. They raise protests, and before you know it, they sanction you here and there, and you fall.
Oh yeah, or they'll bomb you, or America will bomb you without any permission, or make up some story and demonize you and come bomb you and get you out of there, and that's what America will do. But people don't want to acknowledge
exactly what they do.
That's what America does. That's what they do. I talk about the dirty Dutch. I talk about the dirty Dutch, but America got skid marks. That's what America is. The skid mark America. That's what they. I got to take it to that level. I got to go to the gutter with it. What were you gonna say, man? What were you gonna say?
I was also on that the current war in Russia and Ukraine. I was saying the same thing that Russia did. America would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah,
they would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah,
they are the same. Both of them.
I mean, we're so silly. We're so silly in America. You talk about Nigeria. We're so simple in America. It's like we really believe the media and the way the media plays it in America. It's like theater. And people sit up there, ooh, Putin. I'm saying, don't y'all know Biden? What are you talking about? They're playing for territory. They're playing big boy ball. They're not playing this little small emotional stuff. And America kills people like that don't even care. Just he'll go bomb someplace and you won't even hear about it because they won't frame it in the Western media that way. And they use their leverage. They have money. They have resources. They have influence. They have bombs. They do whatever they want to do. And the people are just dumb with propaganda. Just dumb.
I'm so glad you're saying this. And that is the simple truth. But this is what people don't do. This is what people don't know. That is why I said at the beginning of this conversation, I said, I have not forgiven the West, the British, for the errors they committed in this part of the world. Man, these people destroyed a fantastic race that is richly blessed. The confusion that we are facing today, we are yet to resolve the confusion. No, don't take it away. I can't take it away from the fact that Nigerians are smart people, intelligent, they work very hard, they hustle, they toil. No, we create things that we don't have. We say
Yeah,
things that we don't have.
yeah, Nigerians are brilliant.
Currently now,
Yeah.
the light you're seeing here is not electricity. The light you're seeing here is solar system.
Ah.
We don't have electricity. We go and get a solar system and install in our home. We don't have it. You're not hearing sound of. If I'm grateful that there is fuel scarcity. I'm grateful. If not, you would have been hearing sound of generator, which probably would have actually continued with the call. Which would have been hearing sound of generator from my neighbors. You can imagine in a building like this, and we have 4 neighbors put on their generator at the same time. You'll be hearing every single place. So why don't we have electricity in a country that has massive gas resources? In a country that has massive water?
Yeah.
I mean, Nigeria is practically surrounded by water. Everywhere you look around is water.
And I've been out on that water. I've been on that water. I've been in them Nigerian waters.
We have water everywhere. So why don't we have electricity? Why don't we have fuel?
In an oil-producing country.
In an oil-producing country. We queue. These days, if you want to get fuel in Nigeria, now in many parts of Nigeria, you have to sleep at the filling station. You have to pass night at the fuel station so you get your turn. I drove out this morning and I saw just one fuel station was selling fuel this morning in my whole neighborhood.
Okay.
If you have seen the queue was scary. The queue was like from the apartments where I stayed in Accra to ShopRite.
Ooh, whoa.
So I didn't bother myself. I just went back home.
Whoa.
If I stayed there, I think I would spend like 6 hours.
Wow.
This is what Nigerians go through for the past 3 weeks. And funny enough, this thing happens almost every year. And you keep asking yourself, why don't we have this sorted out? Why? Because you have politicians who are no longer accountable because the ethnic groups are all fighting themselves. So the politicians are like the colonial masters. Let these people fight themselves while we enjoy. As I'm speaking to you, the first lady of my president, as the first lady of the country, as the wife of my president, practically stays in Dubai.
Okay.
She stays in Dubai. Her birthday parties, she do them in Dubai. Shopping, she do them in Dubai. The president of my country doesn't treat himself in Nigeria. He goes to UK to treat himself. You know, this set of people, this set of politicians are like the colonial masters because we are fighting. I'm interested in Yoruba man ruling the country. I'm interested in Igbo man ruling the country. I'm interested in Hausa man ruling the country. We no longer pay attention to accountability. And the guys know, and they have been playing this game ever since. Any Nigerian person that watched this video, we attest to this.
What's the solution then? Because when I hear it, I don't hear where a realistic solution can be implemented because this system works so well for the so-called elite class. It keeps the status quo, and if you don't have resources and organization, then you're already at a disadvantage. But for people who have resources and organization, then they can implement whatever system they want. They have the resources, they have the organization to at least keep the confusion going. So while the confusion is happening, they can extract the resources. They can keep doing exactly what they do. But they do this in America too. That's what I'm saying. The same thing happens in America with the confusion. And that's why just the stuff that goes on, the stuff that we believe. You know, sometimes I say I'm embarrassed. Sometimes I'm like, I'm embarrassed to even be associated with a certain group of people because of just how they think. You know, I'm like, is that what's really going on in your... No, and then I go places, and then other people think I think like that, and I'm like, no, I don't think like that. And as a matter of fact, I try to tell them about it, but they still want to think like that. I can't. So I've recognized that the system, the only thing that can be done is to educate people. But the challenge I see in Africa, and everywhere I've been in Africa, because I've heard something very similar to this in Sierra Leone, where the political class that's in charge takes out abuses upon their rival, and not giving them electricity, not giving them the basic necessities. I've heard this, and I've heard it several times, so it makes me think that there might be a degree of truth that comes with it. But when I'm looking at this, it's like the people are going to have to get there's going to have to be an effort to educate people, say this is the game that's being played on you. Because I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, Kingsley, when I'm roaming around, I'll put it to you like this. One, I was raised by the colonial people. So the system in America is strictly colonial. They educate us colonial. They breed us colonial. So from a psychological standpoint, the colonial aspect. But then I'm a descendant of the colonial people too. And so I'm a descendant of them, just like I'm a descendant of Africa, but I was raised in their system. So when I come to Africa, and I'm using Africa broadly, when I come to Africa, I have to check my colonial mind because I see where people can be easily exploited. It's like, oh, y'all roll like that? This is how you operate? Oh, man. I'll give you a good example. In Ghana, the real estate, like renting a place and stuff like that, is like horrible. I mean, it's like if you don't know what you're doing, it is like the absolute worst to try to rent some place to live because because it's just bad. It's just, and when I say this, meaning the way that the landlords operate, the facilities are beautiful. Ghana's beautiful, but the landlords, many of these landlords are just like straight out of just ugh. So my colonial mind says, oh, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have a building with water. You have that structure built, but you don't want to put consistent water in it. Oh, okay. I know how to do this. I'll just go build a building and make sure the water's running. And now you're having problems. So I see how if people aren't thinking, they set themselves up for being taken advantage of. And then a lot of times these people are in leadership positions and they're in these positions where they just, and that's what I've seen in Africa. And I see how the ruling class continues to rule until someone like yourself who has the insight is able to get a platform and yell it from the rooftops. But my question is, what do you think a solution can be, a tangible solution?
Solution.
I like that laugh.
It's a very complex situation.
Okay.
A very complex situation. And the only solution I've always thought about is the fact that we Nigerians have to understand that, first of all, the whites don't love us. So if we understand that whites don't love us, then we begin to look at the.
You show about that, Kingsley.
I'm very sure that the whites don't love me.
Yeah, but the Nigerians and the West Africans and the Tanzanians and the South Africans and they love the whites though. They love the whites. They love them.
Oh, I'm still going to talk about.
But the Chinese too now. They love them. And the Lebanese too. They love them.
I'm still going to talk about the low self-esteem. They work together. These guys are so smart. They're all interested in their well-being. So if we understand the fact that whites don't love me, or let me say the British who formed Nigeria didn't create Nigeria out of love. If we understand that, then we begin to look at the institutions, the systems that are available. And it goes down to the education you talked about. So if people are talking about this, these days I see a lot of young people who are talking about this. I mean a lot of young people who are talking about, who are now beginning to question, oh, this thing that the white gave us, there is something wrong with it. This religion that they gave us, there is something wrong with it. People are beginning to ask questions. That's the simple truth. People are beginning to wake up. And I believe that it can't continue like this forever. No. I know over time, there will be systematic changes. So we need to begin to work on these systems. We need to really begin to work on these systems. I mean, we can do it if we want to.
Who is going to do it? Because I think that's what we come back to, because there has to be leadership that's in place in order for that to happen. And if the ethnic conflicts are so severe that someone, I mean, because sometimes, a lot of times, people just vote people in because of skin color or because of charisma, not necessarily because of qualifications. And again, I go back to America. Black people vote black, even though the person might be some garbage. They still vote for the black person. I mean, that person could be screwing them from every which way, but they don't care because they black. I mean, that's I'm telling you. That's how dumb we are. That's where we are. That's where you want to talk about what's going on in Africa. I can give you some dumb over here in America, and you just kind of sit back and say to yourself, They don't even know the policies. You know, they just go with the flow, and then they complain, and they complain, and they complain, and they whine, and they complain, and it's like, you voted the fool in the office, and you keep voting these fools in, and you keep complaining. So what? So you get what you vote for. You know. So I guess what I'm saying is, how do we get these people who are qualified and have the heart to want to bring about the changes, the organization, the resources, the support? Where do they come from? Because it goes back to leadership. But then again, but then you still have the colonial master in place. I mean, because the British still run Nigeria. They just let everybody else fight. They still run it. No African country has a military that can stand up to any of these Western powers. So
they brought down Libya. They brought down Libya.
Libya was like the last one.
Within few weeks, they destroyed the country. And just look, when I was growing up, I met Nigerians who were living in Libya. I was in university then.
Okay.
I met Nigerians who were living in Libya. In fact, I had one at one particular time. I had one on the same transit. I was going to my university. We were done with our vacation. I was going back to my university. So I met one. We were in the same bus heading to our region. That's from the eastern part of the country.
Okay.
So we got talking, and he told me about the country then. And he told me how beautiful it was, how well organized it was, how strong their currency was, how good their economy was, how the amazing state facilities, the amazing, it was like a communal-based system, how states provided most of the things. So practically the country was good, and the citizens were happy.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the first guy. I met another guy. I met about 3 or 4 guys who were based there, who were living there, and they told me how well they were doing. They showed me pictures, they showed me videos. Then I began to research, and I realized that the country was cool. It's just now, a lot of people now in Africa are angry. People are saying, you Westerners destroyed Libya.
Yeah.
A lot of Africans were migrated to Libya to work, and now, people just go to Europe to do menial jobs, do sweeping, all these menial jobs. Africans, in Dubai, Qatar, doing menial jobs. Back then, Libya was one of the countries that Black Africans migrated to do these jobs, and they were happy.
Well, let me say this though. Let me say this though. Nigerians are everywhere. Nigerians are in Iceland. Nigerians. Everywhere I've been in the world, Nigerians are there. Y'all are serious. I said I'm so excited. I got so much Nigerian in me that I'm like, wow, because you all understand something. I mean, and that's all wherever they come from. There's a lot of Yoruba. I've met probably about 25 Yoruba in the past 2 months right here in America.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is it? Excuse me. You can cut this off. Okay, check on her.
And I'm gonna leave this part in. I'm gonna leave this. I'm not gonna edit this out. It's gonna stay in. He said, "Excuse me, talking to somebody."
I have to take it off my wife.
Tell her I said hello. And then when you see the baby again, give the baby a kiss for me. There you go. To Uncle Jay. There you go. You're a new dad and everything. Let me find out. You working it out. I understand. I remember those days. It was a long time ago, but I remember those days. You're like, hold on, baby crying.
Okay, so I think we are good.
Okay.
They are still discussing though. I just don't want the sound of the door when she comes in. I want the sound of the door to be off.
Oh, okay. I don't hear anything, but okay.
Okay, you didn't hear the sound?
No.
Okay.
If so, you're good. Yeah.
We are very good. So let's go.
Okay.
So you were saying that Nigeria.
So I see Nigerians everywhere. I see everywhere in the world. Like I said, Nigerians in Iceland and Nigerians in South America, Nigerians in America, Nigerians in UK, Nigerians in Canada, Nigerians in Ukraine. Nigerians everywhere. I said, let me find out these Nigerians are serious.
You know the funny thing? These Nigerians are everywhere are mainly Igbos, Yorubas,
Yes.
mainly Igbos.
Well, I've been meeting a lot of Yoruba over here in America. I've been meeting a lot of Yoruba.
Yes, Yorubas, Igbos. Let me say the people from the southern part of Nigeria.
Got it.
Yeah, everywhere.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, everywhere. But the people from the northern region, they are hardly out of Nigeria.
But is that culturally, is that religious culturally? Because I know that they're more Islamic, and then I know the Yoruba and the Igbos kind of tend more Catholic, Anglican, Christian. Could that have something to do with it?
Sincerely speaking, Jay, I don't know. I don't know if it is. I believe it's religious. It's religious inclined.
Okay.
Probably because they have this concept that the Western world is haram. Haram in quotes.
Okay.
Haram in quotes is like something that is not good in their religion.
Right.
They believe
right.
that
Right.
Yeah, the Western education. Most of them have. Maybe that is why they are not married. I don't know. But a lot of these people you meet are Igbos, Yorubas. A lot of them, not all. A lot. They are always everywhere. They are even in Somalia,
Hey.
where there is an ongoing civil unrest. Yeah. They are there.
They're everywhere. I was saying Nigerians are everywhere. They're in China. Nigerians are everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes. And it boils down to the fact that these people looking for better life for themselves. Yes.
But I'm fascinated by that though. I'm fascinated by that though. Because when I was in Nigeria, I felt at home. I felt like I was among my people. It was something.
I saw you. You were vibing.
I was vibing. I was seriously vibing. I was like, man, they told me not to come to Nigeria. Like, these are my people. I mean, and I can get down and dirty just like the next person. So like people talk about scams and worried. I said, I'm good. I'm not worried about that so much. I said I got enough Nigerian DNA, and then I got enough of that corrupt colonizer DNA. I said I think I'll be able to navigate this pretty good. And I said if I keep those two antennas up, I'll be all right. As long as I don't go out here and get naive and thinking that I'm something special or something like that. Let me just go and enjoy myself, and let me just keep my eyes open. It's like being in America in the hood. If you're in the hood, that's like the equivalent of being in. You go to the hood, you got to have your street sense about you. You don't go out there, hey guys, you got to switch up how you walk. You got to switch up how you talk. You got to stand a particular way. You got to look a particular way. You don't have a whole bunch of conversation with people you don't know, and that's how you carry it. You gotta carry it as if they don't know whether or not you packing like how they packing. You just gotta mind your business and do what you need to do. Or some places you just don't need to go to. I mean that's street sense. So, but yeah, okay, all right. So Yoruba and Igbo, those are the ones that primarily travel abroad and all of that. I know. Now I want to get back.
Nigerians. There's still Edo people. There. A lot of them in Italy.
Okay, Edo people.
Yeah, Edo, Delta State. And Benin, for instance, is one of the places you could visit. Okay. It's culturally rich.
Yeah, I'm determined to really get into Nigeria and really understand Nigeria like how I understand Ghana.
There is something I tell people. I tell people that maybe Nigeria breaking up into different countries is almost impossible currently.
It won't happen. It'll never happen.
The only thing, what I say is, if we can't break up, I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria as Nigeria. I love Nigeria as an entity. I love it.
Right.
So I think the best thing we can do for ourselves now is try to organize our political system in the sense that we currently run unitary federal system of government. Like I discussed with you on WhatsApp, we currently run unitary federal system of government where the central government, which is seated in Abuja, has so much power over federating states. I don't think it's like that in the US. I think in US, states have a lot of power to run their own boundaries, like run their
Yeah,
economy,
yeah,
like
yeah,
run their own security. I think
yeah,
I think states in America have their own police, right? They
yeah.
have state police.
Oh yeah, yeah. State and
Yeah,
county
this
and city. It gets down to the micro level. You get city police.
thank you. This is the area that Nigeria can look into, and it's possible. Why the elite still enjoy their beautiful packages that they love so much? They can work on these things. They can work on these things to give federating states in Nigeria the power to manage water, to manage electricity, to manage security, to manage the economy, so that these governors we call in Nigeria, so these governors we call in Nigeria will not be useless. They are
Well,
currently useless.
yeah, yeah, but here's the other part of it though. I think that we got to look at it because from a cultural standpoint, people you have a country with 200 and however many million people,
Yeah.
you don't know how many people in Nigeria, but you know it's over 200 million,
Over.
and they're used to living a particular way. So they're used to an indigenous way of living. A lot of people are used to living without running water, without electricity, from a historical perspective. When you come to America, the people are not used to living like that since independence, since the so-called abolition of slavery, so-called because it was not really abolished. So, so when you look from a technological standpoint, there have been certain Western amenities that have been added to America where the culture in America is used to certain things and will not tolerate not having running water. The people will rise up, the people will, and also there are enough business entities America has an economic base that will support new infrastructure being built and people moving in. You have people moving from Nigeria to America. You have people moving from the UK to America. So now you have this population influx in addition to the so-called illegal population that's coming up from Central and South America and Mexico that's coming into the country. That's still an economic base. They cry foul about it, but all of those people still have to eat. All of those people still they generate income, albeit low income jobs, but they still generate income. So that's why that's allowed to happen because there's a monetary benefit. So your population is able to produce and generate. So when it comes to Nigeria, if you don't have a population that has the economic resources to support all of this new infrastructure, that's when you begin to run into the problems because we're in a capitalistic world. So capitalistic ventures don't say, well, okay, I'm going to go to a remote area or a lower income area and put this major infrastructure in because they look at the demographics and they don't see where the demographics of the community will support their financial investment. Although it makes perfect sense, you got to understand America's economy is a fake economy. The currency is called fiat. The currency is not real. The currency is based on consumer confidence. And so however the people feel, they use a bunch of credit. People think they're rich, but they're really broke as all get out. They're using credit to live off of. They're using credit to go to school. They're using credit to buy cars. So it gives the illusion
that
of
is
wealth. What I say, what I do. I
that is
said,
that is a that is a big topic on its own. A very big topic on its own.
I just try to tell
Seriously.
you. That's why Nigeria. That's why a population that has that many people, you'll say, well, why don't they have this? Because the Nigerian economy, and somebody wanted to argue me down about this. I said, because they were like, no, the British do not have anything to do with Nigeria. And I'm saying, but Nigeria is still a part of the Commonwealth. What are you talking about? What do you mean that they don't have? And this does not take away from the brilliance of Nigerian people. This does not take away from what I love about Nigeria and Nigerian people. It does not take away any of that. But from a systemic standpoint, in order for a problem to be solved, someone has to recognize it from a larger perspective and not just look at it from the standpoint of, oh, these politicians need to fix these problems. Well, let's look at what might be holding them hostage. First, mindset, it was probably holding them hostage, but then share economics. And because if Nigeria is being exploited, if Togo and Benin and Mali and all these other countries are being exploited, then they're not getting the resources that they deserve to be able to build the infrastructure because they're getting pennies on the penny for their resources. And then they make sure they put government leaders in place that rob from the people to make sure that they enrich themselves. So they're enriched, and then the wife can live in wherever and do whatever, but the people are still struggling. So from a systemic standpoint, that's when the problems come in, because some of that stuff that you talk about right now that's going on in Nigeria, they would not tolerate it in most of America, but they would do it in areas in America that were deemed to be not valuable, probably with people who have darker melanin in their skin or impoverished from a socioeconomic perspective. That's where you would start to see things like that, where infrastructure is not going in place. Because I'm telling you, if you come to America, I could take you some places in America. You would say, whoa, this looks like the worst place I've ever seen. I could take you would not believe it. You would say, they don't even have this in Nigeria. There are places in America that are like that, because of the neglect and the lack of infrastructure that's in place, because the emphasis is always somewhere else. And that's how the West treats Africa. And that's why now they're coming back to Africa and they're starting to build up because they see an economic opportunity there. And that's what they're doing. So it's
and it is the economic opportunities are actually here, especially in these African countries where some of the most basic amenities are available, such as electricity.
Right.
For instance, it may not be in total supply, but at least in a reasonable length.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, in my neighborhood, we've not had electricity for 5 days.
Okay, so right now you don't have electricity in your house.
For 5 days. Like I said, what you're saying is solar, is private. Like I installed solar by myself.
You had to become resourceful. You had to tap into your Nigerian, and you got yourself some solar power. See, that's what I love. That's what I love right there. That right there. That's gangster. That's gangster. That right there.
That's why whenever you see Nigerians, they survive.
I know. That's gangster.
We have survived everything. There is nothing we cannot survive here.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, them South Africans got that too, though. Them South Africans some bad boys too. I saw some stuff in South Africa. I was like, let me find out. They were working. They knew how to get that electricity. They had the little thing jimmy rigged. They had the wire. I said that's a code violation times 400. I said, but they working it out. They got power in the house, heat in the house. They robbing it from the pole. I said, I'm not mad at you. I said.
Yeah, I think this
shout out to South Africa.
In South Africa. You know, when a system has oppressed you as a human being, you just find a way to survive.
Yeah.
Like you come to Nigeria now, solar business is booming.
Yes.
People who do solar business is booming. You know, Nigerians have discovered that, okay, since the government is not providing us electricity, let us venture into solar business. I know a guy who is doing the company that installed my solar. I know the guy. We worked in the same place before we went into solar business.
Okay.
He's doing fine now. He's doing so well.
I bet he is.
He got himself a very decent price. He opened a very big business for his wife. He's building a house.
He need any investors? Does he need any investors?
He doesn't.
Oh,
he built it from scratch, and he's doing well. So well.
Well, that's
and he's
good.
too young.
Yeah.
Nigerians have now discovered that, look, this is business. Let us make money from it. And they are making money. And where we have electricity, we build by ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, but there are some countries in Africa that the government is being reasonable. The government is being reasonable. They still provide them with electricity, especially in cities.
Okay.
Especially in cities. But they know these cities need electricity. It may not be well supplied in rural areas.
Okay.
But these major cities where you have the economic hubs of this country, they have far better electricity supply than you have in Nigeria. The Nigeria situation is so pathetic in terms of electricity. Is what I cannot understand. I just thank God for solar electricity. I thank God for the sun.
Yes.
If not for the sun,
Hallelujah.
I don't know what Nigeria should have done seriously.
Hallelujah.
So we thank God we tap into it, and it has been very helpful. It has been very, very helpful. Like the guy I told you, he studied for his business, for his wife's business, and the wife is doing frozen food. She sells frozen food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're presenting a solution to this, because we talk about solutions, Because if it doesn't change on the governmental level, then the people have to do it for themselves. That's
Yes,
it. Really gets down to the
definitely.
micro level. It really gets down to the individual household. Because if we're waiting on governments to solve problems, then these problems are not designed to be, they have been designed to not be solved. So what happens at that point is us going and saying, all right, and I say us because we have the same problem in America, is we take care, we manage our household like our own little government. And we take our
Yes.
resources and we maximize our resources like what you're doing. You have found solar power in your house, or brought it into your home to solve a problem. Now you can take care of your family. And I think that, I mean, because we've been waiting on good leadership in America for the past since right. And we've been getting the same stuff. The same stuff. I tell people all the time, you cannot rise to the top of a corrupt system without being corrupt. Now, a lot of people who look like me in America, they don't like to hear that because they believe in what they see on TV. But it's the truth. It's a system. It's a system that is designed to operate a particular way, and whoever leads it has to be sold out to the system in order for the system to work. You cannot be unsold out to the system and then the system not work. I mean, in America, it works perfectly because you have people, the way is a pyramid. You have people at the bottom who work barely to survive. Then you have the middle class, and that's where they pimp everything. They pimp the middle class because that's where they put everybody in debt, and they got everybody controlled and twisted and flipped out and all this other kind of stuff in the middle class. And then you start moving into the top 10%, the top 1%, and those are the ones who enjoy the spoils of their thievery and manipulations and all this other kind of stuff. And that's just how the American system is set up. But that's how the world is set up. The whole world is set up like that. So for those who are in the middle, who they have plenty of sense, for the people who have sense in the middle, but they just don't have the resources, then it's like those people have to now go and say, all right, I'm going to go do some of this stuff for myself. I'm going to go and get solar power. I'm going to learn how to dig a well and get my own water. I'm going to learn how to live off the grid. I'm going to learn how to grow my own food. I'm going to learn how to educate myself. I'm going to learn how to educate my children. I'm going to learn how to do all of these different things, because if I keep waiting on this government system, this government education that just programs me to do what it wants me to do, then I'm always going to be stuck complaining about the government. And when people finally wake up and say, I have to do this for myself, then I believe that's a part of the solution. That's me. That's my opinion. Part of the solution.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, I need to take this.
Uh oh.
I need to take this off. The battery is low.
Uh oh. Uh oh. There it is. There you go. See, you need that power. You need that solar power.
The battery is low, so I have to hear you directly from.
Okay. That's good.
Device.
Can you hear me?
You can hear me, right?
I got you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. So that is the solution. And you mentioned something about water. Virtually every home in Nigeria dig their own water from the soil. We don't have a centralized water system, so we dig. And we get a machine to pump it and supply it to the homes. So we always have a way to survive these things. And as you said, it's part of the solution. Then one of the things I also want to talk about is low self-esteem.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Low self-esteem.
It is a big problem for the Africans. I don't know if it's just Africans, or maybe it is also happening in America among the Black Americans.
Absolutely.
These people, my people, have this mindset that everything that comes from a white man is true, perfect, wonderful. They can never lie. They can never make mistake. They are God. And it boils down to religion. Through religion, they already painted a picture of whiteness, that they are good. They already painted a picture of Savior in the form of white Jesus. He came to save you. So this has implanted psychological warfare on us, to the point that if a white man tells you that take $20 and give me your $100, we'll believe him. You give me your $100 and give him your $20. That's what they do here. So it is so deep that You don't even believe that you can do something for yourself. You don't even believe that you can build your country. Now, in as much as
Okay. I hear you, but is that everybody? Because I know some brilliant Nigerians who don't think like that. I know some brilliant so-called African Americans who don't think like that, who are just, they're flat out brilliant. There's some brilliant Ghanaians, there's some brilliant Tanzanians, there's some brilliant South Africans. So is this a certain part of the population, or is this like, or is it a majority? Is it a minority? What? Because I know it's not everybody. So what percentage fall into this low self-esteem, white savior, love the white man, white man can't do no
majority?
Wrong. Oh, okay, majority. Okay, so
majority
okay.
have this problem.
Okay.
Some of them don't even know that they have it. And
explain
some
that
of them
part.
don't know. Some of them don't even know that they are suffering from it.
And what does that look like?
Of that. What is it?
What does that look like when somebody does not know that they're suffering from it? Because that sounds like what I'm saying about a lot of folks here in America. They don't realize.
Unconsciously, when you make statement like, there are no opportunities anywhere in Africa. I cannot be useful in Africa. I cannot make it. Let me make it in Africa. For me to make it in life, I have to be in Europe.
Ooh.
You don't actually know that subconsciously you are believing that you are inferior. Then you come back and cry about racism. I don't get it. I don't get it when Africans complain about racism. You indirectly telling white people that I'm inferior, I'm nobody, I'm nothing without you. Then you come back and cry, racism. It makes no sense to me.
That sounds like America. I hear it all the time. I'm like, yo, really, it's okay. But all right, so the low self-esteem, and people don't realize it. So okay, we keep going. Give me some more. I mean, how do people solve this? What do we have to do to solve it? Because I see it in my family. I see it on my mother's side, my father's side. Like on my mother's side, it's just like this. They don't see themselves as worthy. They don't see themselves as, but they'll never say that out of their mouths. I don't see myself as worthy. And I have to be mindful of the cultural conditioning and recognizing the fact that there were certain things that they went through, especially the elders, that I haven't had to go through. And I'm thankful for their sacrifices for what they have done. On my father's side of the family, my father, in particular.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut you short.
Go.
Wait, as you were saying your stuff, I just remembered a very strong point about this low self-esteem.
Okay.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm. One of the ways this plays out among us is in food. Africans or Nigerians believe that Western processed food is the ultimate you need in your life. Why this food is killing us?
What? You can't be
Then
serious.
We have natural food.
You can't be serious.
Natural elements that we can eat and consume and be healthy. We say no.
Y'all want
we have what we call pap.
Y'all want McDonald's.
We have what we call pap. Pap is natural. It's not taking pap. You want to take custard, processed one. Instead of taking some food that are naturally found in our locality that have not gone too much of processing. No, we want to eat the one that Europeans are eating. So whenever a white man eats something, automatically a black man abandons what he eats to start eating what the white man eats. Low self-esteem. And this thing is killing. That is why today people now have high blood pressure. It was not common among us. High blood pressure, cancer, everywhere. It's low self-esteem. When you believe that nothing comes from you is good. Everything that comes from white man is good.
But that's what my father, that's what he did. My father talked black, but secretly he wished he was white. And in his greatest, I'm serious. This joker, he was something else. He was something else. So this dude, he went and got an award. He was so far up the butt of white people that when he finally got his award from the white president of the United States back in 91, I believe it was 1991. That was what he lived for. But he did nothing like significant for black people. He had a little program and all that kind of stuff, but he had black children he did nothing for of his own that came out of his testicles, that came out of his body, he did nothing for, but yet he sought to get the validation and the approval and acceptance of a white man. And that was what he lived. And if he could have swapped himself to be white, I believe that he would have done it just because of how his mindset was. And so that was the flip side. And then you have people that, oh man, he got an award from the president of the United States. It's like, I mean, you think to yourself, what is the president of the United States? I mean, but all of this goes back to what you're saying, because you're talking about the food. You got everything. That's why I love coming to Africa, because I'm like, wow, this is, man, y'all got everything here. There's no need for it, but to your point, I hear people who want to leave, and they adopt that mindset. They adopt the mindset of wanting to be accepted by the Queen of England and validated by the Queen of England. It's like going to your abuser and saying, you stole from me, you stole from my ancestors, you made my conditions difficult because of your thievery, but now I still want to be accepted by you, and I want to brag and boast that I've been honored by you on your platform, but yet you're the one who caused the grief and heartache for me and my ancestors, but yet I still want your validation. That's the part that my mind can't reconcile. It's like, my mind is like, now, you're crying racism. You're talking about you're talking about how bad America is. But at the same time, you still sucking on the breast of America, wanting to be like those people. You still want to be like them, but you talk about how bad racism is. I'm confused. It's in my mind.
That is why I don't get myself involved in this racism preaching all over social media. I don't get myself involved because I see us silently encouraging it. You're silently encouraging it, and you're crying about it. See, let me tell you something. If a white man comes around here, my neighborhood, you see people want to take pictures with him.
Now that happens. Now let me say this: that happens to me too. Now that does happen. That does. So I mean, maybe not in Nigeria so much. It's happened in Egypt. It happened. I walked through Egypt, and they thought I was LeBron James. I was like, oh, okay, they taking pictures with me. I'm pimping it too. I need some content for my channel. So you want to take a picture with me? Well, let me take one with you. We gonna exchange this thing. Don't worry, it's all good. I'll sit cheese with you, and I take a picture and say, yo, So but
they actually don't take. You're not taking these pictures because they are celebrating. Or let me say someone strange around our neighborhood. No, they are taking these pictures with the mindset that they are seeing a superhuman being.
That's in Nigeria with the white people.
Yes, they are taking this picture that they are seeing someone like a god. If you go to Nigerian forum and see comments that reasonable people, graduates, university graduates make, you cry. How they downgrade themselves to the point that you see, even other races are taking advantage of it. The Chinese come here, they establish a company, they disobey our labor laws, they kick our people. I want to give you an example of what happened. I worked for a Chinese, an Indian-owned company. It was when I worked
an Indian-owned company. Indian.
Yeah, in an Indian-owned company. Okay. As a customer service representative, right? So I worked there, and it was pathetic. I worked as a graduate. I was employed as a graduate, a second-class upper graduate. That's what I was employed as, and I was paid less than $100 per month. Okay. Yeah, less than $100 per month. Can you imagine? Okay. And I sat down for 8 hours every day, talking non-stop. 8 hours every day, talking non-stop. 5 times a week. We did 9 shifts. Now, when we started, I wasn't paid for 3 months. First month, second month, third month. Some of us, we were not paid. Then This is complete violation of our labor law. Complete violation of our labor law. If a Nigeria does it, the government or anybody, any union may intervene and get on your neck. But when it's done by an Indian or a Chinese or an American or a Lebanese, everybody will keep quiet. So they can come here and do anything they like. Because you already see them. It's not all about, it's not just about whites. Africans, black people just don't believe, they have low self-esteem about themselves. Every other skin color is above them. That's what they believe in their mind. So whether you're a Chinese or an Indian, as long as you're not a black person, if you maltreat them here, they keep short, they keep quiet, they don't challenge you, they don't question you because they see you as above them. One of the people you interviewed also said this kind of thing. They are seeing you from an elevated mindset. So because of that, you can't challenge someone you feel that you're scared of. Someone you feel that is above you, you can't question the person. So I wasn't paid for 3 months, and we were many. And on the 3rd month, I was walking. I dropped my headset. I stood up. I said, I must see the end to this. My team leader, one person in charge of my group, called Kingsley. Where are you going to? I said, I'm done working. I need to see the general manager, the person that is in charge of this whole company. It's an Indian man. So I need to see him, and he needs to tell me why I have not been paid for 3 months. You are like, you are out of your mind to think of such thing. Why would you want to ever think of such thing? This is me not even having a second chance, as like something to fall back to. So if I lost my job, I would have lost my job, then I'll just be like that. I went to his office. I said, excuse me, sir. He said, hello, how may I help you? I said, my name is Kingsley, I'm one of your staff. I've not been paid for 3 months, and I want to know why I've not been paid. He couldn't believe it. In Nigeria could challenge me, ask me a question. How? Why? I now told him, I said, because if I'm not paid, I won't be able to come to work and I won't be able to work. I think he was marveled at my confidence. He called for the HR. The HR happened to be a Nigerian woman. He called for the HR. The HR came. He said, this young man said he has not been paid. Why have not been paid for 3 months? The woman said, what's your name? I said, Kingsley, give me your staff number. I'll look into it. She wanted to work out. The man called her back and said, please, I want you to attend to this situation right now here in my office. We sat together, myself, the HR, and the woman. We sat together. We were looking at ourselves, and she was working on it. Jay, that same day, they started processing the issue that caused us not to be paid. Now, when the other Nigerians who were working saw that I was making headway, they now joined me. That same day, they drove us to the bank, did some things that they needed to do. I told them that I was not going to work until I get paid. And they resolved the issue in 4 days. And throughout that 4 days, I did not work. And I got paid in 4 days. Because I don't see any other race as a superior race. Whether you're white, you're colored, you're a human being. I don't have this elevated mindset for any race. So because of that, I can approach you. I can question you. If you maltreat me, I'll challenge you for maltreating me. I'm not saying you, and I'm not saying because you are a God, so when you slap me, I'll turn to this. You know they told us in the Bible, when they slap you here, you turn to this side.
Turn the other cheek. And if they steal from you, give them the shirt off your back and give them everything. Just steal from me, give them everything. Just take everything from me. I haven't had nothing because the Lord gonna restore it. The Lord gonna restore it to me. He's gonna take it back and bring it back to me. That's hey yo, that's how they think. It's kind of funny because we both know that thing, and you in Nigeria and I'm over here and hear that stuff. You're like, I wish
but this is what low self-esteem has grown into. People don't know.
Okay. So why is that though? What is that? Because I know people in America now. It's not quite as bad in America, quite like what you said. Now I will give us. It's not. We got it though, but we will. We are notorious for raising up if something goes down on the job or whatever. We kind of got that little edge about us. I will say that. But why is it like that though? Why is that low self-esteem, low self-image so dominant? What is that? Because we got to get to the why. Why?
Yeah, it's like that because of the game that the whites played. And systematically over the decades, this game has suppressed us. Now we now also transfer it to other races like the Chinese, the Asians, the Philippines, the Arabs, practically every race on earth. Practically every race on earth feels that they can do anything to black man and get away with it because the black man has naturally accepted it. And it boils out from colonial history. You know, like I said initially, when you have created a picture that white Jesus is your savior, you have painted a picture. Do you think it was ordinary for white men to create movies that Jesus, angels are white people? Then when they want to show devil, Satan, they use black.
Yeah, I honestly, growing up, I never thought about it. It never crossed my mind. It never, and I think that's part of it. It never crossed my mind because I remember being a little boy, probably about 7 years old, and I saw the Jesus movie on TV, and it was a little white man, and I remember going to sleep thinking, "Wow, if I die, I want to go see Jesus." And I was thinking to myself in my mind as a little 7-year-old boy that I want to go see that white man because they said that white man is Jesus, and that's from that's over 40 some odd years ago that I saw that, and that image was embedded in my mind. And I know that, and I'm looking at the different churches in Africa, and I see, like in America, you can be hard pressed to find like a white Jesus. They got them, they still got them, but it's hard. It's not like what it used to be, say, 50 years ago, where white Jesus was everywhere. Now, if you go to a black church, a predominantly black church, and you see a white Jesus, then something's wrong. Something is absolutely wrong in America because we just it's the culture has evolved to say nah, we don't do that. I recognize in Africa, and I use it generally, that independence, the perceived independence, just happened in the late 1950s going into the 1960s, so it has not been that long. And then again, It goes back to leadership, it goes back to church leadership. So if you have corrupt politicians, best believe you got corrupt pastors. And if the people have been dumbed down to the point where they accept this, then you keep it. I mean, there's a church in Ghana. You go inside, you look up on the ceiling, you got white Jesus. I said, "What is this?" I was like, "What is
white Jesus? On? Don't forget white Jesus, black Satan,
black Satan, white Mary, all these different things.
All the good characters are white. Then all the bad characters are black. These are mental weapon, and they've eaten so deep into the system that an average black man an average Nigerian, let me know if it's black, an average Nigerian believes that he is not good enough. Believes that anyone that is not black is above him. And this is something. Even my wife, is something I preach to her as often as possible because I'm building a family where I'm also trying to raise them to understand that these things are not real. I don't have to see a German as one angel. So because of that, he can shift on my head. He can step on my head. No. These things are the reason people can leave their Accra city, then go to Italy to do jobs that they cannot do. One of the participants on your show said something like this. He said, you meet a Ghanaian who has a small shop where he or she is selling something, is able to feed himself, able to pay his apartment, able to send his children to school.
Yes.
He's doing fine.
Right. But he doesn't see it as an opportunity.
This needs. Yeah. You're not living on credits. You're not living on mortgage. Yeah. You can do these things, but with your own hustle, you're fine.
Yeah.
But this person will want to sell up all his properties to migrate to Italy, to do jobs that he could not even do in his country, to earn certain amount of money that can barely make him survive in that country because the economy is more expensive.
Yeah.
This is low self-esteem.
So what do we do to solve it? How do we solve this? Again, I come back to that. How do we solve it? How do we solve this?
Yes, what you're doing.
Okay.
What you're doing. Your show, some of your videos get to 15,000 views, 20,000 views, 50,000 views. You already have more than 13,000 subscribers. What you're doing is part of it. We have to do more. We have to have more people like you telling people, look, I had to talk to my wife about her identity. It's about education. Because Nigeria had a civil war. Nigeria had a civil war. Because of the civil war, people started denying being Igbo. I'm from the Igbo. People started denying being Igbo because the Nigerian armed forces were slaughtering anything that looks like Igbo. They were killing. So the people who were not from the core region of the Igbo, some Igbos who are like in other regions, like where you have Russians in Ukraine.
Right.
We have Russians in Ukraine. Yeah.
Right. Because that border, that border is that border.
Definitely. Right. So we had Igbos like that too. Okay. So they started denying being Igbo. Oh no, I'm not Igbo. Don't kill me, I'm not Igbo. Now this denial became generational. Years by years. Fear of being Igbophobia, fear of being Igbo. Parents are transferring to their children. Let me know. Some people actually delete their names.
Oh, but that's how it is. Ooh, that's how many so-called African Americans are. I'm not African. I'm not African. I'm not African. I'm not African.
Exactly.
I'm not African.
It's the same thing. Exactly. It is generational denial. It is so deep. It is so deep. So you see people who are Igbo, but deny that they say they are not Igbo because over the decades, they've been taught to deny it because they are scared of being killed. They are scared of being denied political positions. You see some of them removing their Igbo names. When I gave birth, my son has his Igbo name. I can't deny my culture. So when I got married, I had to educate my wife. Like, look, you're Igbo. You've been taught that you're not Igbo by your generation. That is them. Your dialect will be different from my dialect, but we are all Igbos. So I had to educate my wife about her identity, about what happened, because she wasn't familiar with the Civil War. It's not everybody that's interested in reading history. I am so interested in history. You may not be interested in history, because I believe history is important for the future and the present. But not everybody see it that way. So she wasn't really familiar with the history. So I had to tell her what really happened. Look, this is what happened. And this denial is not good. You have to accept the fact that you're Igbo so that I can raise a family that understand that this family is Igbo. I can't hide it. I can't hide my identity. And my son has his Igbo name. And definitely I'll speak my language to my son more. In fact, my son will learn English in school. But in my home here, he has to understand Igbo. Because I'm Igbo and my wife is Igbo.
But that's so fascinating to hear you say that, because, and it's refreshing to hear it, because there's so many people who don't do that culturally across the world. I see so many people of African descent throughout the world who clearly got all African features. It's like, you not African, then I don't know what you are. But I'm something else. And they try to get rid of their African features. They do. I mean, I guess I can see now what you're saying as far as like the low self-esteem with people bleaching their skin, with the way that people, it's so ingrained in us how we deny our natural hair texture. We see our natural hair texture as bad. Now, I'm so encouraged when I see more and more people now who are embracing their natural hair texture, who would have never considered natural hair textures 20 years ago. They would have never. They were going burning their scalps, got scabs, got hair falling out, all kind of stuff going on, because they were told that there's something wrong with their hair, and if you go more than 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, without putting some sort of process in your hair, then your hair is bad, and your hair is not good, and there's something about you that's deficient. But the way that they told you now, a lot of people don't. And sometimes you get pushback. You get pushback from people saying, well, this is how I like it. This is what I want. That's fine. We're not talking about, that part. But it's like a lot of times we don't analyze where the thought process comes from. Why do we think like this? Why do we do this? What's wrong with us? And to hear you say that you're going to raise your newborn to know your language and to be proud of the natural part of the indigenous part of the existence, that is if we have more people doing that, in addition to having these conversations, now you have, just like everybody's, it's like we adopt everybody else's problems and everything without even recognizing how we can solve our own. You know, okay, we're praying for Ukraine. Nobody wants to see anybody getting killed. Nobody. But it's like you see people, like I see black people impassioned about it, but they got stuff going on in their own backyard that they don't even care about. They won't even go to a school board meeting or go to the PTA meeting for their own child, but they're all up in arms about Ukraine and all passionate about it. And it's like, yo, you got stuff. They're shooting and killing in your own neighborhood, and you're not even involved in that, but you're worried about what's going on in Ukraine and don't even understand the whole story. Don't even understand what's happening, but you all, in Ukraine, we got to do something. We're sending food over to Ukraine, and people in your own backyard need food, been needing food, but you won't send food to them. I mean, but that's part of that low self-esteem. That's part of that thing that we got going on. Many layers to it, man. Man, I'm always good to talk to you. We got to do this some more because, yeah, we got to do this some more. Anything, look, let's wrap this one up, and then we're going to come back and do it again. Anything you want to share with everybody before we wrap up?
Yes, Jamie, thank you so much for the opportunity to say this. Like I said, your platform is an opportunity for us to talk about issues like this, and I'm sure that people are learning. People are really learning. And you remember when you were in Ghana, people were spotting you. Oh, this is Jay. Spotting.
I'll be back in Ghana soon. I'll be back in Ghana real soon. I'm gonna do a meetup with everybody.
You see people say, oh, this is Jay. Yeah, this is Jay. They are watching. They are learning. They are picking. And when one person learns, he tells another person.
Yeah.
He tells another person. And that is how it keeps spreading. And these conversations, the conversations you are having are healthy, especially your health.
Oh yeah, we got a whole thing. What's killing us? I got a whole.
That is what I'm working on Nikishi. I'm sorry, but I don't know if I pronounce her name very well.
Oh, Nishiki.
Yes.
I got more coming up from Nishiki. I got a whole interview with her coming up. Yeah.
Yes,
that's right. You're working on that interview.
I have
I'm talking to you're editing that. That's what.
Yes, I'm editing that. Even I've done 40 minutes already.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, right. Okay.
Super loaded content, beautiful content.
Yeah.
This what you're doing is beautiful. Like people are learning, and this is the way we will solve our problems. We will talk about it. People don't want to talk about their problems. If you don't talk about your problems, you can't solve them. You can't get solutions. You can't talk about solutions. So as you are educating us, as you are telling, I also learn when I watch your videos. I learn. These videos you send to me to edit, when I watch them, I learn, and I learn a lot from them. A lot of the things I know, I learn from these things. So this is how we learn. And what I would tell Africans is this: we know that we have a lot of political problems, which I want us to know that the white man didn't love us and hasn't loved us to date. So when you understand the white man doesn't love you, you understand that the political system that you are copying is just for their own benefits. When you have this in mind, you begin to restructure how you take yourself, how you take your fellow white man and the rest of them. And it boils down to the fact that is why I laugh at our politicians who actually make themselves available for these white people to exploit us till dates. If I find myself in that position, you can't force me to exploit people, because I already know that you are an enemy. My mindset is already, my brain has already been activated to know that you as a British person, you don't love me. So whatever offer you're coming, whatever aid you're coming with, I will check it over and over again to be sure that.
Is that every one of them though? Are there some?
No, it's never going to be every one of them. Definitely. Okay. They are wonderful white people.
Okay.
Just the way we have bad blacks, we have wonderful white people.
Okay.
All
right. Because
there are some of them that are so kind.
I know some good ones. I got some good ones. I got some friends that's some good ones. You know that have not done any harm and have actually been more helpful to me than many so-called African Americans. So that's why I was like, is it all of them? I said, I don't know. It's all of them.
No, not
There's all of them. A lot of them now. Don't get me wrong.
I've met white people in Upwork that have been so fantastic. They've been so good. They didn't, because me, if I sense that you want to cheat me because of my skin and my location, once I sense that, I pull out.
Okay.
So I don't mind not ending.
Maybe it's the white system. Is that a better way to say it? Maybe it's the white system doesn't love you.
Yes, the white system, exactly. The white system doesn't. Yeah. So there are wonderful people there too. So I think with that we can start doing better for ourselves, and we need to love. I wanted to say something about love. We need to love our race. See, Jay, if you don't love yourself, you won't treat yourself well.
But the religion does that to people, because the religion, that what I've experienced is, I see a lot of people who are heavily religious, and their identity is no longer in their ethnicity. Their identity is supposedly in Christ, whoever that might be. Meaning, that's how they identify white Jesus. And if the white Jesus is embedded in your mind, and you can't separate the Jesus in the Bible from white Jesus, which a lot of people can't. They really can't. Or it's like, why does it have to be about ethnicity? And I tell them, I say, if you read your daggone Bible, just read your daggone Bible, and you will see that even in the Old Testament, ethnicity was important. If ethnicity was not important and genealogy wasn't important, then you would not have seen all of the genealogy listed that I forget which particular chapter it came out of, but you saw this person came from this person, came from this person, came from this person, came from this person. And if ethnicity was not important, then God would not have had his chosen people according to what the very scriptures that they're talking about. See, so when people start talking that kind of talk, then I say they don't even know that there are their own Bible that they claim to be reading, because if ethnicity wasn't important, then there would not have been the Hebrews and the Gentiles, and you wouldn't have had any of that. It would have even been mentioned if it was not important. So again, I mean, I go back to this stuff, and I just kind of shake my head. I mean to get all biblical and everything. I can preach a little bit. I've been known to preach a little bit. but go ahead.
Yes. Like if we get to love the race, if we love our race, we won't loot it. We won't loot it. You have to have passion for your race. You have to love it. So I'm using this platform to tell Africans, love yourself. Love the skin. If you're brown, if you're dark, as the Sudanese or the Malians, love it. If you're brown like us, love it. It is who you are. So when I love the continent, when I love the race, whatever I do, I want to make positive impacts. You have love for you. No, there's no doubt you are passionate about the continent. It is very obvious. Nobody, when people don't need to watch a video 3 times to understand that Jay has passion for the continent.
With all of his problems, and issues and challenges,
yes,
I still love it, and I still will.
There is something I learned about you. There's something I learned from you. You made me understand that there could be challenges in Nigeria, there could be challenges in Ghana, there could be challenges just the way you say. But I can always dwell on the positive side. I learned that from editing videos from you. I learned that dwell on the positive side. So I'm using this opportunity to Africans. When you dwell so much on the positive side, because people don't love this continent. That is why you go to Germany to become a medical doctor, and you don't want to come back. If
until you die,
until you die, 7 years or 10 years, come back. If we keep losing our best brains, who is going to build the African continent? When you talk about this, somebody will tell you, I'm interested in making money. I just want to make money. Yes, go there and make money, but come back.
But you can make money in Africa. Guess what? They do it. The Chinese see it. The Germans see it. The Americans see it. The Russians see it. The British see it. The French see it. They make their money from Africa. But
why are they coming?
But part of
that, though, if there's no opportunity, why are they coming?
Right.
When I was in Ghana, I saw a lot of them. They were everywhere. Everywhere in Ghana.
Everywhere you went, and it's really interesting, because during slavery times, what they would do is they would try to take the best of the best to build up their countries. Now they do it psychologically. They lure the best of the best to come and stay, so they don't need slavery, because they get into the person's mind and they say, I'm leaving Africa and I don't want to ever come back. And now I want to be like them. I want to eat caviar. You can eat. How about this? When I tell people, I eat caviar. If you catch me in my bougie moment, you catch me in one of them restaurants, chilling, having the conversation, but I never lose who I am, because that's a part of who I am. But you'll also catch me in a village hanging out in Africa somewhere and not even trying to act it. You'll catch me on all of it because it's a part of who I am. So I don't deny who I am. It's like, okay, I can be real bougie when I want to. I can go stay in the Four Seasons, Ritz Carlton. All I can do that, but I have not forgotten where I came from. I have not forgotten what it's like to have no food in the refrigerator. I have not forgotten what that's like. I have not forgotten what it's like. And guess what? Even in going into villages, I don't even look down and be like, man, in the village, they need this, that, and the other. I'm like, wow, this is amazing how you all make this happen. I'm like, wow, let me sit my bougie behind down and let me learn from you and let me shut up and let me just sit here and
do
watch.
that. You do that. I learned so much from you. You see, your clips, I show your clips to my friends. I'm like, look at this guy. He's in one village in Ghana and he's so comfortable, relaxing with everybody. I've learned so much from you. And that is the kind of concept, the mindset we need to imbibe as Africans. If we don't love assets, if we don't love the environment, if we don't love the continent, we can't give it our best. I used to tell my friends, the people I know, even if it's not Nigeria, find your way anywhere in Africa. Whatever you've learned in Germany, Chinese do it a lot. They can go to US and learn skills, learn science and everything.
Pimp America.
Just go back to China and build something.
Yes.
So we need to start doing that. When you learn how to design machines, if you had worked for 10 years or 15 years in America, even if you don't, maybe your country has political stability, I can understand that. Probably you're from Congo, you have political stability, yes.
Yes.
But that is not the only Africa. Just the way we always say, Africa is made up of 55 countries.
Yeah.
You could be in Ghana. You could establish something in Benin Republic. It is more stable. You could establish something in Togo. It is more stable. You could be in Ivory Coast. It is more stable. You have to do something for the motherland. People need to understand this. This is my final note to your viewers. Africans, let's do something for the motherland. I beg you.
Well, Kingsley, man, definitely got to do this again. And you shared so much, and I'm glad to have you editing. Kingsley edits many of our videos, and that's one thing that I wanted to make sure that we had someone on the continent of Africa, and in particular in Nigeria, where we have people in Kenya and other places in Africa as well. But I wanted to make sure we were contributing to the economy with the resources that we have by creating this content, because that is a part of bridging the gap. So it's not just us having a conversation, but then there's also the exchange. You have a skill and a talent, and you're able to monetize it by way of working with us here, based out of the U.S., although I'm in all over Africa, getting ready to go all over Africa. You'll be busy, really busy coming up soon, because I'm coming back to Africa. But it's like, this is, I guess, a part of it, like what you said. And I'm glad to be able to introduce you to the viewers as we continue to build this channel and these different platforms. But your reach and your interpretations of what's being sent to you is also touching thousands of people. So it's a group effort in order to make this happen. So listen, everybody, I'm here talking to Kingsley. He's in Nigeria right now. We're continuing to bridge the gap. I love to be able to have these conversations. If you're someone who has something that you would like to talk about on the channel, you can reach out to me at jcameronofficial@gmail.com. Again, when we have these conversations, we educate. Sometimes you have to educate on the micro level, and then we compile all of this content. You take this little piece, and you put it all together where somebody can stop and say, wait a minute, why am I bleaching my skin? Why am I abusing my scalp the way that I'm abusing it? What is at the core of this? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I behaving like this? Wow, Kingsley had enough courage to go speak up. Maybe I need to go speak up today. I say this also. I'll talk a lot about, I'll say a lot of things. It's kind of like what you were talking about Nigeria. For me, I'll say a lot of different things about what I've experienced with so-called African-American culture and dealing within the so-called African-American culture and things that I've seen. But what you see me doing, by way of educating, by way of taking tours and doing all of that, is because of my love for my people. And sometimes when you love your people, you got to say, hey, yo, we can't keep doing this and then talking about we want to get better. Come on, leave that stuff alone. Let's go do what we need to do. My goal is to create exposure, not just for people where I come from, but exposure for people in Africa towards our culture, so that gap is bridged, so we understand each other more, because the wedge has been formed by the colonizing entities to make sure that we have misinformation, that we take little bits and pieces and little bits and pieces of offenses that someone else had or someone else's negative experience, and we frame that into a complete narrative about an entire continent of people either way. And so as we begin to have this exposure, we begin to break it down. And that's what this is all about. So, hey, everybody, listen, thank you for tuning in. Please comment, please subscribe, hit the like bell, get the notifications, share this content, because this is how we bridge the gap. So until next time, take care and be safe.
What makes you, I'm gonna go climb Kilimanjaro.
When I went to Ghana, I knew that there was something missing.
Why'd you go to Ghana? What started the whole?
What started the whole thing was curiosity. And I did the ancestry, DNA, then I did African ancestry. Then when I was doing the whole Uber experiment, I was meeting all these people from Africa. And there was this one young lady from Ethiopia, and then she told me, oh, this Ethiopia is this great place, you need to go. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, whatever, okay, I'm gonna go one day on my bucket list. But then I did the ancestry, and this whole piece about Africa kept coming up in my mind. And then I just decided to do it. I said, I'm gonna stop waiting around, I'm gonna do it. From there, went to Ghana, and the first thing that hit me is that, wait a minute, there's something I wasn't told.
Just had lunch, and we are getting ready to start this journey. We're getting a lot more footage along the way, so stay tuned.
So we made it to the top after the rock scramble. Life above the clouds is completely different. Behind me is the summit. We're on our way. We are in a cloud. That's what's happening.
I'm dressed like a handmaid.
This is literally like from another planet.
Wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.